I'm attorney Brian Tierney. This is Breaking Bread with Brian. As always, the man behind the camera is Renee Costa from Full Bars Media. If you want to take your marketing to the next level, you need to talk to Renee Costa from Full Bars Media. You got to enjoy the finer things in life. And that's why I'm here today at this lovely restaurant with this lovely guest. I'm here today at Machu Picchu Peruvian Restaurant with my good friend, Llanos from 24 Hour Real Estate. Herman, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I really appreciate the opportunity to be with you. When someone offers you food, it's hard to say no. And when it's about Peruvian food, you know, it's a thing. So I mean, it's a pleasure, double pleasure to be here.
Sounds good. I'm glad we had you here today, and I'm also glad you took me to this restaurant. One, because Peruvian food is delicious, and two, I like this restaurant. It's a very nice place. It's got some nice limelight. It's a family feel.
Yeah.
The food smells really good right now, so I'm looking forward to that. So very excited. Is there something you normally order when you come here, or?
Yeah. This Machu Picchu is a restaurant of a friend of mine, Javier
Yes.
Alday, and what I eat is the most common thing as a Peruvian, which is ceviche. That's our national, you know, dish. And I usually order ají de gallina, which is like a very, I'm from Lima, so it's a very Lima dish. Try to avoid the rice with the carbs, but I keep everything else proper, you know.
You're trying to watch your figure a little bit?
Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, I'm not 20s anymore.
Make sure the stew still
Yeah,
fits good. So, yeah, I mean, if you have too much rice, then it might not after a while.
Yeah, right. In Lima, in Peru, you eat everything. Everything is with rice, you know. It's just a thing, you know. So, but there's a lot of seafood, Peruvian. There's a lot of, you know, chicken, beef, everything. But I'm crazy about the seafood mostly. So.
Well, I think we will try a little bit of ceviche before our meal, because I mean, ceviche will be more of like an appetizer. Do you eat ceviche as a main meal sometimes too? Or?
You eat ceviche as a main meal, or you can share it. You know, all is good as long as you have it.
Okay, and then is there a certain kind do you recommend with like a whitefish or like a shrimp, or what do you like? What do you prefer?
You have mixed ceviche, which is like seafood, like mussel, shrimp, scallops, octopus.
You're already making me hungry, man.
Yeah,
All those things in one.
And then you have the usual dish, which is pure fish, white fish, you know. So we have got a large coast in Peru. It's a pretty good, there's a lot of fish. You're not gonna have a lack of fish in any sense.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, because like I said, it already smells good here, and
Yeah.
I just had Peruvian food for the first time recently when we ate together, and everything was really good. The Peruvian chefs have a very good sense of like what tastes good together. The drinks were nice and sweet, and they were very refreshing, and the food was just like well seasoned and well, I don't know, the word's escaping me, but definitely well seasoned. There was a lot of flavor.
It's in Peru, the food is like a matter of national pride. You know, like when you think about Peruvians, you think about, we don't have like so many like rock stars or so many like sport people or anything that in any country would be. But we have chefs.
Yeah.
We have, you know, anytime they talk about the Peruvian, they talk about those are our rock stars. You know,
It's that serious, huh?
Yeah, it's very serious.
Those are your rock stars.
Sometimes I think that and you talk to Peruvian, you cannot say. I mean, the best compliment is, "Oh, your food is good." That's like, "Your mom is nice." That type of level. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we have this amazing source of pride when it comes to food, when it comes to pisco. Like the drink that you have is pisco. Pisco is a very Peruvian drink. It's a brandy from Peru, and again, another, you know, source of national pride.
So pisco, for the viewers out there,
Yeah.
It's a Peruvian brandy drink.
Yeah.
It was very sweet, and it was served chilled.
Yeah.
Delicious. So that was very good. And what are we drinking here? What is this?
Oh, this is called chicha morada. This is made of purple corn. The purple corn grows, I guess, only in Peru. Huh? I mean, probably they export it somewhere else, but
Yeah.
it's a very Incas drink, you know, and it's it's tasty, it's healthy, you know, and
That's good.
Yeah, so it's refreshing. And for a Peruvian, it's like that's how you grow up drinking. You don't drink so much pop. When I grew up in the '80s, there used to be like socialism. It was kind of bad time to grow up,
Right.
and you didn't have Coca-Cola. It was expensive, or Inca Cola, which is our national.
Inca Cola.
It's our national pop, and but you have chicha morada, which is pretty good, So
Very good.
yeah, man. We'll order soon, and you'll get to at least see the taste. Definitely, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And this is it's very good that it's not only does it taste good, but it's healthy. Because I'm worried like how much sugar and all this, but it's very good. And I mean I break the rules once in a while, right? I've been trying to watch sugar because there's so much stuff coming out now about how really unhealthy it is for you. If we didn't already know that, but there's probably natural sugar in here.
Yeah, usually you get it with cane sugar,
Yeah.
which is a little bit better. I mean, still sugar, but it's controlled a little.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the calorie contain of, I don't know, Coca-Cola,
Yeah,
So,
and no like high fructose corn syrup and anything
yeah, there's no
processed
corn.
to add to
It's
it.
definitely corn, but it's not the
So
syrup.
not like the syrup that they do in the factories here.
Yeah. So, hope.
And I'm
I think it's
guessing
pretty tasty.
vitamins too, or no?
No, it's just corn, and you get some cinnamon, some lemon. That's pretty much it, It's pretty simple.
So you said prior to us getting the cameras rolling here that you come to Machu Picchu to watch soccer matches and stuff like that?
Yeah, this place is like I was telling you, there are like two types of Peruvian restaurants in Chicago. You get the fancy ones, the ones that you take a date, take your wife.
Yeah.
You take corporate friends like Tanta or like Cabra now in the West
Yeah.
Loop. It's fancy and expensive. And then you have there's a lot of like family spots, family places, like this Machu Picchu. By the way, thank you so much to my friend Javier Alday. He's the owner and he's facilitating everything.
Thank you very much, Javier.
You have Jaime Bardales, which he also owns ceviche and Ay Picante. You have Nilda, who owns El Tumi. You have Taste of Peru. You have Rio de Sudamerica. I mean, there's so many restaurants that are more home-based, that you get like a more homey food. That way you get the whole smell. So whenever I want to really have a good lunch or dinner, you come to these places. Whenever you want to have like a nice cocktail, I usually go to other places. I mean, food is great too,
Oh yeah,
but,
just so the viewers know, I think it's BYOB here.
Yeah.
So you bring your
BYOB,
own
yeah.
spirits here, wine, beer, whatever have you. So, yeah. So this is like your spot to come for a nice family meal, then
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Peruvians are all about the family, Like most of the Latinos, we're all about family. So
Do you still have family back in Peru?
I have some family. Yeah, I have some relatives. My nuclear family, my mom, my sister is here. My wife's here.
That's good.
And then, but yeah, I have uncles. I have cousins. The whole extended family.
Do you still go back and visit?
Yeah, as much as I can, as much as real estate allows you to go.
Yeah.
It's you know how it is. It's rough. I mean, like you need to take care of your business, and you also want to travel the world. But right now we're at the building time in our professions that you need to focus in business, But yeah, occasionally I go. I got 2 babies right now, so it's hard with the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, it get better with years.
It does. I've done a little bit of traveling, and although I like to travel, I think I'm going to lay low a little bit more, just to focus on the business, because I was in Mexico recently,
Yeah.
and I was with some of my fellow colleagues, and their cell phone is out the whole time. You know, luckily I guess there's good 4G or something in Mexico, or there's like they had a Wi-Fi, but they were on the phone a lot of the time, and it's like, well, for me it was new. So first of all, I'm the type of person that's not on my phone all the time.
Right.
But you know, I like to enjoy the moment and be present as much as I can be in this crazy business, because yes, it's very hard to escape the phone. But they were on there a lot, and I'm like, well, for me this is all new, so I'm focusing on, you know, on the experience. So I was there. I was in Mexico in September of 2019, and then I was in Ireland in February 2018. But I think that's the extent of the traveling I'm going to do for now, because, you know, I recently, after this, you know, great year we've had, I just kind of did some reflection. I'm just like, I want to laser focus in on my business and really hone in on it.
Yeah.
So I think I will be traveling, but like only more to like Wisconsin or something to visit there, and you know, I have family there and we have a place there, so go kind of just drive, you know, and I don't have to worry about the flying, and everything I need is right there, and it's more affordable.
I mean, it's closer. Yeah. I mean, there's time for everything, you know. But yeah. I mean, when you are at this stage of like growing, you know, like I think there will be more time later. I enjoy my 20s and 30s traveling a lot, so.
Well, that's good. That's good. And now you're settled down. You have your family here, and you're focusing on the business, and then, you know, making sure that everything's good for your family going forward, which is what I'm doing too. I'm going to be getting married soon, and you know, kids will follow after that. So I have to make sure that I'm not. Yeah, exactly. So
very nice.
I'm not jealous of you, but I'm surprised you don't have any gray hair with all the kids and everything. You know, no gray hairs.
No, I don't know, man. It's just the Inca's blood. I guess like my dad used to be like 60s and he didn't have gray hair. So yeah, I don't know why. I'm blessed.
I think you are blessed, man. Like the Inca, like genes, man. That's great. Like no gray hair.
It's a lot of chicha morada and ceviche. So.
Oh yeah, I gotta eat more of the Peruvian food. I'll definitely stop back here. I already see some of the food coming out, and it looks really good right now.
Yeah.
But is there any like differences between living in Peru and here, or something that you miss, or anything that you'd like to point out for viewers?
I guess the way of living, you know, like I miss a lot the friends that I grew up. You know, the friends that more impact in your life, I think they're the friends that you are in the high school and university. You know, I developed great relationships here, but, you know, I kind of miss my old friends. So, you know, like the fact that you can go to the house of your friends without making an appointment, or just showing up, or be like, hey man, you wanna do a couple of beers? You wanna go and surf? You wanna go and play guitar? You know, that type of thing. Here, you gotta make an appointment with everybody. Like, you know, it's not like I can show up in your office and like, hey, what you doing? Like, what do you think, man? I'm working. You know?
Some people still do that occasionally. So you gotta hope that if you're very busy that day, that it's not like they planned on a social visit. Like, I don't have time to like sit here and have a drink or something. Like, I got work to do.
But even like, for instance, you know, you have a weekend and you have a friend like, hey, you know, you wanna do something, and I mean, it's hard. I mean, it's a different. I don't complain, and I don't think that it's good or bad. I think
it's just different kinds of good.
Yeah, the culture in America is. I take the best thing from America. I think America is great, talking about like business building or growing investments, and you know, I can sit with you. You're my friend, and we can talk about money and investments and income, and there's no problem with that. Whereas if I'm in Peru with some friends, that might be a little disrespectful because it's kind of too personal. You talk more about, like in Europe too, you know, like my wife's Polish, so sometimes when you go there in America, you're defined by what you do, right? Oh, so what are you? Oh, I'm in real estate. Oh, I'm an attorney, you know. And then you roll over the conversation based on that, you know. Sometimes when you're in Europe or you are in Peru, you know, you sound boring, or you sound like maybe to a certain extent too personal, going into business, because that's kind of node of your business, that type of thing.
That's how they treat that.
Well, to a certain extent, you know, there's more separation. Whereas here, it's like a great conversation starter. It's a great way to talk because we work so much. So that's what you do. So that's what comes out of the conversation naturally, you know. Either if you're in a Cubs game, or either if you're in a restaurant talking about anything, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's other aspects in life, you know. But I miss kind of the fact about talking about nothing and everything, you know, that type of conversations after.
I mean, when you talk to somebody about what they do, you might learn about interesting experiences, because if you meet somebody who does something that you've never like really heard of or that
Exactly.
you've never talked about, next thing you know, they're telling you a crazy story that's like really cool from their line of work or something. I know like one interesting job is like the skyscraper washers that have to go clean the windows and stuff. They see like the craziest stuff ever. Even in office buildings, they'll look and they're like, oh my God, that's going on, you know, and it's like, it's an office building, so like it's not your home. You can't just be doing whatever you want without worrying about having to have somebody watching you. But anyway, how old were you when you came from Peru?
I was 24.
24.
I came September 29 of 2000, so almost 20 years from now.
Very good. And did you go into school, or did you get right into work?
Yeah,
when
I
you
went
got here?
to. Yeah, I was working in Banco Popular at the beginning, and I went to Loyola to do the Master in Business Administration, Loyola Chicago University.
Yes, sir.
And I'm working, and Chicago's a great city, man.
So the bank that you worked for, was that a Peruvian bank? Or
No, Banco Popular is like the main employer and the main bank in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And back at the time, they used to have their corporate headquarters here in Rosemont.
Oh, I see.
What happened later is that they sold the share to First Midwest Bank
Yeah, I know that.
in the whole Illinois area. And they basically quit Illinois, and then they just refocus in the coasts. So they're still around. I guess headquarters is in New York, and they're in Jersey and Florida and California, that type of thing, you know.
So do you have like a proclivity to numbers or finance or something? Is that how you got into that line of work?
Yeah, I always, for some reason, I always work, pretty much all my life I work in banks. I come from commercial lending, so I used to be an underwriter, business banker, commercial lender, commercial real estate officer, workout officer. So yeah, I always been related to banking, and I kind of deep into real estate by 04, 05. So that's kind of how I started. But I have, a strong background in finance and business, you know.
So when you transitioned from working in finance, did you immediately open up your own company, or did you work for somebody else first?
No, I moved from Peru in 2000. I bought my first place in 03. It was a mistake. I bought a garden unit that from time to time get flooded.
Oh.
But you learn. So the more that I learned about my bad experience and probably the bad advice that I got, kind of made me fall in getting my license and try to see an opportunity. I know all of this, but I need to learn a little bit of real estate. So that's how I kind of jump in the industry. So while I was still working in Banco Popular, because back at the time I used to be a workout officer, just someone to fix the deals, the falling deals, Back in 04, 03, 04, I started having this part-time as a loan officer in a downtown company after like 3, 4 p.m. So I was working all the time. So then I started doing loans, and then I got my license, and I started doing flips at the same time. So I was working in another company for a few years until 06, when I opened my own.
In real estate, not lending.
In real estate.
In real estate.
Well, I had both licenses. You're talking about the peak of the crisis.
Yeah.
So I got a license, I got a loan officer. I was doing pretty well. But at the same time, I did not want to lose my corporate job, and I was working all the time, basically,
Yeah, that's all right for a while, but I'm sure that gets old after a while, especially with a family. You have to have some time for your family and for yourself too.
Yeah. But then I opened the company in 06, and things were good for a couple of years,
So
and then
you opened 24-hour real estate.
Yeah.
In 2006.
Correct.
And it's been on ever since then. So.
It's been on. So things went skyrocketed for 2 years. I mean, you know what happened after '08.
The values were going up crazy, and then it crashed, and everything dropped.
Yeah,
and
everything dropped.
Foreclosure after foreclosure.
But I feel that I'm kind of well seasoned because I saw, the roller coaster has been there for a while. So, I saw September 11 a little bit. I was already in the industry, buying and selling. That was, no, it was '03. No, in '01, I was working for the bank. So I saw how things happen with all the values from an underwriting perspective. And then in '03, I started buying all these places. So I see how things start picking up. And then things went down, and then they went up again. And that's kind of where we are right now, So
yeah, obviously there was years where, 2010, 2011, 2012, where a lot of the foreclosures were getting flushed out, and in the sense that they were getting out of the system, out of the financial system, and then out through the judicial system back into the hands of the public, who were largely like probably rehabbers and stuff that were buying these properties affordably, or people who had money were buying them,
Right.
and they were fixing them up and selling them for a profit or whatever have you, which is good. And that's why a lot of folks have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are we ready to order? We still have a bit more time.
A little bit more time.
Just take your
We'll find you as soon as we're ready. Thank you very much. But yeah, so there's a lot of people got good homes out of it after that because a lot of the rehabbers were fixing them up. Now you have these good quality homes in the community. But also some people were buying like for themselves, and they would just fix it up as time went on. So then once a lot of the foreclosures get out of the system, we see like the last few years, it's not as big as it was, right? Everything's just died down, thank God. So we've had an expansion now, or a steady housing market for like
8-9 years so
8-9
far.
years, and you only wonder how long that can last. But at the same time, we're going to work hard while it is lasting and enjoy it, but then also be ready for the market after that.
For a correction.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that people, like when I talk to investors, the thing that people don't get is that in real estate, the whole concept of boom of capitalism applies all the time.
Yeah.
You go up and down. There's day and night. So what I tell investors is you have to feel comfortable with the market going up and down, because that's truly a capitalist economy. The problem is when government intervenes. Then the government creates distortions in the economy.
Right.
I think the fact that we have a 9-year growing trend is not normal, because the government, the Fed, keeps dumping cash into the economy.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, when you don't let the market self-correct, then you're gonna have a huge hangover.
Yeah.
You can't keep drinking for so long without consequences.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that that many people don't understand. That's why people get scared. Oh, when things are gonna crash, So I think it would be better, if government would intervene so much and just let the economy follow the natural course of action, like anything, If we start businesses, they got to peak, and things fade down, and
Peaks
then
and valleys.
you start another one. And the fact that the beauty of capitalism is that many businesses, with time, the economy change, productivity change, and businesses change, So you need to clear the old to make some space for the new, Like I was talking to some people the other day, and they were saying, "Oh, do you think how long Amazon is gonna last?" And I remember a few years ago, I was talking how long Walmart is gonna last, as the king of retail,
Yeah.
And before it used to be Sears,
Yeah.
but that's how it is,
Sears had an almighty reign.
Yeah. Well,
From like the 1800s, Sears Roebuck. You used to get the catalogs. I even remember as a kid,
Yeah.
we would get like Montgomery Ward's Christmas catalog and the Sears Roebuck and Toys R Us, and we would always be looking for the toys section. And they had all the coolest new gifts. Sears Roebuck, they were the name for a long time, and then Walmart started creeping up. I think they were formed in like the 60s or 70s. I
Right.
think they started out, and of course they become this Goliath nationwide with these giant stores. Now you have Amazon, and Walmart's like, oh, I see what you did there. What I mean? They kind of got like a left hook that they weren't expecting, and they're like, You know, we have these stores, they have their own zip codes because they're so big, and then you have this online retailer that's selling stuff as cheaply as possible, delivering it right to your door. You don't even have to go out to deal with all the craziness at Walmart, and you can get it right there. So now they're trying to get back on that, you know, selling all the stuff online and all this, and it's interesting times.
Yeah, I mean, so people get scared and say, oh, you know, Sears is going to go down. Back at the time, you know, so many people are going to lose their jobs. Right, but there's other things that are going to come up new. And that's what happened with real estate too. You know, I remember when I started in the business, the people that started back then are not the people that are now, you know. You need to really work hard and be on top of new technologies and be on top of your database of clients. Make sure that you serve very well your people. Make sure that you are trustful and honest so you can last in the business. Because I know many people that was around in, you know, in the 04s, in the 06, in the 2011s, in the 2015s, that they are not here any longer. And that basically tells me that they couldn't keep up, but mostly the fact that they didn't take care of their clients. Because by the end of the day, Amazon, the beauty of Amazon, whether you hate it or not, I mean, there are good things, bad things, right?
Yeah,
but they take care of their clients. I mean, it's really great that you can just order everything in your phone and you have it maybe the same day. It's beautiful, right?
Sometimes, yeah, depending on the item. Yeah.
See, mine, like, same with Sears. People can order a watch in some town in Idaho or North Dakota, and then with the railroads, they were able to deliver it. And with other ways, you will need some Pony Express, take forever to get it, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, every time that you take care of your people, your clients, things go well. So you need to take care of people.
That's true, and I'm sure there was some other factors as well. That's probably one of the main ones, because if you establish that kind of lifelong relationship, you would have had that in the good times and the bad. But probably also, and this happens to so many people, they learned a lesson because they overextended themselves when the times were good, and they were at the peak and they weren't ready for the valley. So that was something probably too. And then people who were casual about it and who did not want to do it as like a full career, or who you know, weren't that serious about it, were the ones who got weeded out, I'm sure, at that time. But since then, the times have been so good that you have a lot of new people coming into the industry. So we'll see. My guess would be kind of what you said. I don't think there's going to be another real bad crash, or at least the likes of which we saw then. I don't think it'll be that bad, and I really hope it's not, because people don't realize how bad that could have been for the whole world if things got worse and the government didn't bail people out, because that could have been really bad for global tensions amongst China, Russia, U.S., everything. Because so many people were invested in this, from Greece and Spain, and all these governments had invested in stuff that was backed by mortgage-backed securities and all this crazy stuff. It was dragging everybody down.
Yeah.
But a correction, coming, who knows when it's going to actually happen. But do you know Phil Byers? He works with Keller Williams, Lincoln Park, I believe. I met him through the YPN.
Yeah.
Do you know him?
No, I don't know him.
He actually spoke at the Chicago Association of Realtors earlier this year, and I would definitely like to have him on either Breaking Bread or my podcast. I'm going to be doing this new podcast called Less Life University that I will be filming out of my office, so it won't
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm both a student and a teacher, right? And we have good guests on who have something to offer, who have some knowledge, and I'll be able to learn from them as well as maybe put out some knowledge there myself. But in any event, he knows a lot about how to track whether the correction is coming all the way down to the local market level right here. And I mean, you might too, through using the MLS and things like that. You can see the number of contracts in a given area within a certain amount of time, and you can compare that data over the timeline from a year or two ago till now. So it's kind of crazy that we have that technology now at our fingertips, where we could see even what the local market is doing year to year. And you can see whether what's happening there, maybe an indication of a correction.
Well, I mean, for your viewers, I tell you about, many people talk about the correction, the crisis, the upcoming recession. And let me tell you why. Is there's going to be a correction, but it's not going to be too bad. At least you're not going to be flooded with foreclosures, or you're not going to have that. So I don't know if people learned the lesson about what happened, because if you learn the lesson, you'll be more frugal, and people are not frugal. whatever is the case. But people, because of the banks tie their belts, they start buying with 20% down, 10% down. They actually require that you have some skin in the game, that you put some equity. Before the crisis, you were able to get all these ninja loans, like no income,
no job,
no assets,
Yeah.
nothing verification. So they're cheated loans. You can, But after they went to the other extreme. Right now, you need to have all these reserves, and you need to have the down payment, and you need to have these over 700 credit scores in order for you to have a decent, rates and all of that, and all, just to get along,
Yeah.
So those people are the ones that has been buying within the last 9 years. And actually, lending hasn't been so relaxed lately. You don't get a no-income product. There's a couple around there,
There are, I've heard it.
but
I'm kind of glad.
but
Those
it's-
scare me.
Right, but that tells you that the people that, and since prices have been going up, if someone has 20, 30% equity in their house, they don't want to lose their house. You see what I'm saying?
I hope so, unless the values drop really bad again, but
I
hopefully
mean,
we don't see that.
but it would drop the value because something major happens, and the employment right now is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
We have probably the best economy in America in history.
Yeah.
And whereas if you like politically or not, that's a fact, So that determines that things are not gonna fall in a very bad way.
I hope what you're saying is true. I believe what you're saying. Yeah, if the job market is good and the economy is good, at least money will be out there and people will have the ability to spend and purchase things to keep a largely consumer-based economy going. So we'll see, when the time comes, how it'll be.
It's gonna come. It's gonna be mild, and then it's gonna correct. Prices are gonna drop. I mean, when people ask me, you see the hot areas. The hot areas are gonna, guess what? They're gonna still be hot. I just don't see, especially in an area like Chicago. And the other factor that you need to consider is during all these 8-9 years. I mean, the people don't use this word because it's more, I guess, Latin America. But there be a lot of you underbuilt. You were supposed to build, but people were so scared. Like I remember, like if you in 2010, 2012, 2013, 2014, if you go to a bank and ask for a construction loan or you want to do a development, they look at you like, are you crazy?
Yeah, really? Yeah.
So, but they were, in a normal course of the economy, they were supposed to be building, and they didn't build for a while. But
Yeah.
guess what's going to happen
The
in a
shock
few years?
was bad, yeah. So you're
So-
saying now we're underdeveloped?
Exactly.
Well,
I
'cause the
think
inventory is low.
we're underdeveloped, and especially in the brackets that are B, C, and D. So in the middle class, like in the properties that are affordable for people, nobody put money. Everybody's going downtown and building condos or going to all the expensive
Yeah.
areas. But if you want to build, so now that people say, oh, in the suburbs, there's all these baby boomers that are dying, and what's going to happen with their house? It's going to be absorbed because we need housing because we still have a lot of immigration, thanks God to the United States.
Yes.
People still having babies. The economy is growing, so you need the housing. And the stock supply, it didn't replenish. There were not enough construction during the last 10 years.
So if we're waiting for more construction, that could be another blessing or boost to the economy once that starts picking up, because now you got more people employed in construction, more consumerism that stems from that. So that could be a good thing, especially if the interest rates continue to remain low as they have.
I am so bullish into that, especially that there's all this infrastructure bill holding up in Congress. You see all these, politics that are playing there and all this theater that are happening. But once Congress sometime, hopefully in the near future, get back to work and they pass the infrastructure bill, I think that's going to be another big boost to the economy, And I'm really looking forward to that.
How close are we to a new
Well,
infrastructure bill?
the bills are there,
Yeah.
There are things that, they got a break because they're doing whatever politics they're doing right now. But hopefully, we can get more money in infrastructure, and I think that's going to generate this chain effect in the other sectors. Once you build a highway, see what happened around. When you start rebuilding bridges and all of that, towns, automatically there's more investment flowing to certain areas. So I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I'm very optimistic in the economy, despite of whatever you read in the news. I think you need to go at the numbers. You need to see what's really happening. And from the trenches, like coming from a real estate perspective at the micro level, I see there's a lot, especially in the Latino market where I am.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of families that want to own. There's a lot of families buying places. There's a lot of investors, especially in a city like Chicago that is so great for renters.
Yeah.
You get so much money for rentals here, and the prices are not crazy like in the coasts.
Yeah.
We do consultancy also in my company. So we travel around and we work with banks and we help them to grade loans. And I get to see, I was in San Jose, California last week, and a few weeks ago I was in New York, and the prices there, they don't make sense from a cap rate perspective, from an ROI, from a return of investment perspective. The amount that you generate from your rents is not enough to cover your mortgage and make a profit.
Yeah.
There are deals happening in New York at the cap rate of 2%, which is nothing, In Chicago, you can still get rates of return and cap rates of like 6% over to 8, 10%. There's a lot of things that make sense. And I really think it's because of the fact that we do not have enough housing, especially in those segments, in the C and D or in the B. The D you probably don't want to deal because so you're gonna have a lot of collection issues.
Right.
The A, everybody's in A. Everybody wanna, all these realtors, they wanna dress nice and, start showing condos downtown and drinking cocktails and all of that. There's too many, it's too crowded. But if you go to B, C, I think that's a great opportunity. That's where I am right now, So there's hardworking people, people need housing. You get 2 bedrooms in Chicago for $1,250, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, and you still make a decent profit after all the work,
Well, let me say, I'm glad I know you. And I look forward to being your friend for a long time going forward because you do have a knowledge of this and you know where there's need and,
Yeah.
and where there's a market to be served, but also because you're so optimistic. Because right now we're talking about, there will be a correction, it won't be that bad, and the fundamentals are good. So that's good. So that makes me feel good, and I'm hoping it does for
It's
everybody else.
optimism based in facts.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
not
believe
like unreasonable.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in cheerleading, like I call it out, and I'm very unpolitically incorrect when I call out the issues that we have in Chicago and Illinois, because you need to be responsible and address the issues, the problems, You have
Right.
pension crisis here. Like when investors call me from New York or from other places, they say, well, what happened with it? I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a disaster. The only way that you fix the mess in Chicago and Illinois is with fixing the pensions. The pension, you need to, you cannot be spending like a drunken soldier and expect that things are going to be good. But on the other matters, it's a great city. I put all my money here, and that's for a reason.
No, quick question, just to kind of backtrack to a point you made earlier. You said that the government is putting a lot of money into the economy. Do you mean in the form of lower interest rates because so many people are getting money out into the economy, or what did you mean by that?
I think there's a lot of deferred investment at the macro level from the government when it comes to infrastructure. And by that I mean, you go to the Dan Ryan and you see how are our bridges, you see how are our roads, Sometimes you feel that in a third world country. I think the government needs to invest more in that, and that generates the investors, because everything in economy is about expectations, rational expectations, and then people will pour more on that.
I might need your consulting services too.
Yeah, I believe, like for instance, in Fannie Mae, I believe in Freddie Mac. I think that's a subsidy, and by principle, I'm usually against subsidies. But because of all these effects, chain effects that generate within the economy, I think they're worth it. I'm obviously an insider in the industry, but I think the way that the natural goal that comes with homeownership, that developed so many things related in the economy, from construction jobs to furniture to appliances, and I think we need to keep supporting that and keep moving forward with that direction.
Well, yeah, because like for the most part, when you invest, there's only 3 or 4 main large categories that you can put your money into: cash, stocks, bonds, and real estate.
Yeah.
Right? Those are your main ones. So the thing that you get probably the most out of for bang for your buck in the economy is real estate, because of all the consumerism that comes with it. When somebody's buying or selling,
Correct.
when they're selling, they're probably moving to a new place, and wherever they're going, whether it's rental or whatever, is going to get stimulated there. And the new people are coming in, they need all this new furniture and all these things, so it's definitely a big trickle-down effect, especially if it develops out, because now you're putting restaurants there and businesses such as the lovely Machu Picchu that we're at today.
Yeah.
We'll do a few more things that we'll cover real quick before we order some lovely food here. You've had your business now 14 years?
To do is 06 for 13 years,
13
almost
years, yeah.
almost 14, yeah.
Do you have any advice for folks who are out there now, young people like yourselves, who are trying to open up a business, or anything that would be just good general advice about being in real estate or opening up their own business like you have?
Oh yeah, I definitely have, and like everything that I do is very simple. Like I would say, and it sounds a cliche, but it's so true. Find what you're passionate about. Find what you love, but make sure that you're good at that. You know, like I would love to be. I mean, I play guitar. I would love to be a rock star, but obviously there's things that are. There's certain limitations to that. So you like that, Herman. So from that, I'm really passionate about business. I'm really passionate about real estate. I used to sell candy in buses in Peru. So money is always been there. It's something that I've always been passionate about, just mostly for the game. I'm not a hoarder of money. But it's been always there, and I love businesses. I love the inception, how you build a business, how you establish systems, and I love real estate because I love marketing, I love construction, I love finance, I love everything that is related, And I'm talking, so it really comes to that. So whatever, if someone is watching the video right now, find that, what you like it, what you're passionate about, and make sure that you're good at that, right? So you can work all the crazy hours that we work.
And you don't feel as bad about it because you like what you're doing.
No, you do. I honestly, I don't have a watch. Because I don't keep time. Yesterday I worked 14 hours and I'm not tired. And the reason that you're not tired is because you're excited. So it's a good mix of adrenaline in everything that you do. So find that, and once you do that, just work like crazy, and I think if you feel that passion, you're going to feel compelled to do that, You're going to feel compelled to work a lot, and success follows 100%, 100%, like no question. Like sometimes I went back to Peru and I found some friends, and there's this idiosyncrasy when you tell, like, hey man, how's everything? It's passing by, That's what I like in America, when you're with most of the people that I know, hey, how are you doing, Ryan? Good, man, good. How's business? It's great. I just come from a close, I did this, I've been doing that, It's a mix of optimism because obviously you love what you do, you love helping people. So yeah, very simple, find what you love and then just
Work
go
really
for
hard
it.
and be good at it. And
be good at it. And don't do 3, 4, 5 things. That's a mistake. People go and like, hey, I'm real estate, but I'm also a loan officer, and I do inspections.
And I have insurance as well.
Yeah, and if you need insurance, I can help. Like, don't just do one thing, or maybe 2, but just, the more focused that you're into something, the more success. I mean, it just follows, So yeah, that's it.
And then you mentioned, we just briefly touched on hobbies. You have your own YouTube channel.
Yeah,
So,
I like.
Under your personal name, Herman Llanos, right? Herman Llanos on YouTube.
Yeah.
You have a pretty good amount of videos on there, more than a lot of people who start their own channel.
Yeah.
Playing guitar, which you're very good at.
Thank you.
So that's one of your main hobbies. That's a way to unwind, or something that you enjoy on the side.
But the reason is because when you play an instrument, or I like songwriting because I have this need to create things. So when you play an instrument, your right side of the brain, your left side of the brain, everything goes to creating a song, you know, because there's a way, there's a system to create a song. But there's also the creation itself, which is inspired. So you're using both sides of your brain. So if you have, like I say, a bad day where you have 5 closings that fall and, you know, something happened, or you have problems here, problems there, it's a really good way to get out of your side without using drugs or without, you know, so it's a really good way to relax yourself.
A positive outlet.
Yeah, and then if you go to a gig, I mean, if you go to a bar and start playing a few songs, even if you don't get paid, I mean, just the fact that you're there, you know.
Do you do live performances?
Oh yeah, there's a few coffee shops, a few places. As much as I got 2 kids, you know, like whenever.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time to be playing. Like, honey, where are you? Oh, I'm at the coffee house. I'm jamming for everybody.
Come here
right
to change diapers.
Yeah.
On your way back, can you please buy milk? Yeah.
Yeah, on your way home, grab a gallon of milk.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's one thing to do it. You know.
Do you write your own music, like you do originals?
Yeah, I do that.
Okay, so if we want to see some Germán Llanos originals,
yeah, go to my channel. Yeah, so.
That's awesome, man. Do you have like an album or just a few songs here and there?
I'm completing an album, you know, as much as work lets you finish. You know?
Yeah, it's like a 2-year-long recording process. Whereas like with some of the stars, they do a whole album in 2 or 3 weeks or something.
Yeah, I need to. It's like everything. You need to spend time and focus. But yeah, we'll get that. You know, I mean, I have like I tell you, I have a main thing that I do, which is real estate, and I have a few other things that I do. But you have to keep it, you know, very
balanced.
Short.
Yeah.
Right. You got to keep it balanced. But you cannot do too many things and try to be good at those. You know.
You have some covers too, and if there are any Tom Petty fans out there, which I'm sure there are, Lord rest his soul, Germán does a great cover, or great covers of Tom Petty. His voice sounds like Tom Petty too, so it really works well, because not only is he a good musician, like he plays the guitar very well, but also your voice.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
You sound like Tom Petty, man, when you sing.
I won't back down.
Yeah, you nail that song, man.
Yeah,
good for you too.
I will never. Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Any advice to somebody who's thinking about picking up a guitar or other instrument, as far as like how you learned or whatever, you know?
Just do it. There's so many resources right now. Like people talk about, you know, there are very bad things about our time. The fact that I love the breaking bread with Brian thing, because you sit with someone. One of the bad things of our time is the fact that people lose this touch, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how many people I try to call and they don't pick up and they just text, and well, you know, it's part of the time. But one of the good things of our time is also the fact that you can go to YouTube and learn anything, you know? How to change your toilet, how to paint, how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a great positive of our time. I mean, we have a huge library. And you know, there's bad videos too, like anything, but I think we live some amazing times, and we should be thankful about that, you know?
I agree. One of my professors told me, and I think he stole this line from like Star Wars or Star Trek or something, but he says, may you live in interesting times, and we definitely do, between things the way they are in the world, the technology, and then you know, medical advancements that are coming and everything soon, like we're blessed.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, this is the first Breaking Bread I've done in a while, so definitely glad we're here.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna go ahead and order food, and we'll be right back to show you how delicious the food is at Machu Picchu. Welcome back, everybody. Here's Machu Picchu Restaurant, and you can see we have what is some very delicious Peruvian food here. So we'll start, I guess, with the ceviche. Germán, tell us what we have here.
All right, so we have 3 dishes from Peruvian cuisine. This dish is very traditional from the coast. Ceviche is basically raw fish that you can relate it to like a sashimi, okay? Raw fish, and it's cooked straight with lemon juice, okay? And they put spices, garlic, a few other secret sauces, and you serve it, with onion, and you got, just to break the sourish taste of the lemon, you put some sweet potato, and Peruvian corn, which is bigger than the usual.
That
you know?
is corn on steroids right there.
Yeah.
It's huge. Very big.
And it's actually, I mean, it's natural, you know, so there's nothing.
Yeah, it's not like they put the steroids in there or something to grow it.
It's not Monsanto corn.
Not Monsanto corn. It's just some healthy Peruvian corn.
Yeah, and then you have here the lomo saltado. You know, in Peru, Lima, the coast is very like California. We have a lot of Asian people, like Chinese, Japanese. We used to have a former Japanese president.
I see.
And this is a Chinese influence dish.
It looks good.
I'm sure in some downtown Lima kitchen, some guy was trying to figure it out what to do with French fries, maybe some steak and some onions and tomatoes, you know, basically. So that's how that dish was born.
I can't wait to try that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then here's ají de gallina, you know, which is basically gallina is hen. And you have some potatoes, but you have this sauce made with rocoto, which is a Peruvian pepper.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward for you to taste
Thank
it.
you very
Thank you. So, I know you start, man. You're the guest.
Well, let's try the ceviche. We'll
Okay.
work our way on through
Perfect.
here. It looks so good. Let's get some of this out here. We'll set that down.
It really looks good, man.
I'm mixing it up. Gotta get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, all is good. You know, it's crazy. Like the Peruvian cuisine has all these. It's like a boom in the Peruvian cuisine for the last years, and it's, you know, and Peru is the capital, the gastronomical capital of South America, and everything is being booming for the last few years. When I grew up, there was not so much of a big deal about this because this is basically home food, you know. Ceviche used to, for me, it always recalls how the beach is in Peru.
Yeah.
You know, it really brings me back to all those memories where I used to be at the beach and the sound of the ocean and
Because you got good fresh ceviche on the
yeah, and then people surfing. So that's how we used to have it, you know.
beach. Let me tell the viewers real quick. This ceviche, the ingredients are very fresh. So the fish is fresh and hearty. The onions are light. They're not overdoing it. And the corn is very delicious too. This big Peruvian corn that we're having. This is really good ceviche. I've been trying more and more at different places, so I'm definitely a huge fan of this. I would order again. It's I don't know what kind of marinade they're using, but it tastes very good. Like you said, there's a few secret sauces or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, again, it's the most traditional dish that you can have. But it's always good, you know. There's a reason that this is my favorite dish. And you can have it like in many Latin American countries. I guess there's ceviche everywhere right now. But, you know, we created, so we were the first ones.
Really?
Yeah, and we don't put tomato. That's kind of like when Chicago, many people ask me sometimes, you know, hey, you know, because in the Mexican ceviche you put some tomato, some pico de gallo, you know, but this one doesn't have it.
It's still really good.
The way that I describe it is like when you sell people in Chicago, when you have your hot dog in Chicago and people tell you don't put ketchup because that's not how you eat it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one thing. I don't like the ceviche with tomato.
I must admit though, I do break the rules. When I was a kid, I would eat hot dogs with ketchup, especially the Oscar Mayer ones.
You're from Chicago,
Not
no?
the beef ones, but like the chicken pork mixture. And yeah, I'm from Chicago. Grew up by Midway Airport. But I would, when I was younger, ketchup on my chicken nuggets, ketchup on my hot dogs. But now, as I get older, I don't like a lot of vegetables. So I don't do the traditional Chicago style hot dog, but I will put mustard on it. And I understand now in my older age, when I was younger, I didn't like mustard. It wasn't appealing to me, you know? And, but now I understand why they go together so well. But this is very good. I'm gonna switch over to a minute to our second dish.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of food. And that's another thing that I guess, that's not only from Peru, I guess all of our countries, anywhere that you go to a restaurant that is, I mean, not the fancy ones, that more the authentic deal, the portions are absolutely, you know, the way that you have it at home. That's why you see so much food at a time.
Well, that's what I like about the Peruvian restaurants is the portions are good and hearty, but not super big. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing Peru does not have the obesity issue that we have here in America. I'm guessing. No, it's not the same problem.
I think it's the whole. It's also all the ingredients. There's Peru until not so long ago, you couldn't have all these Monsanto seeds. You know, everything needs to be organic. Everything needs to be. We call it from la chacra to la olla, like from the land to the saucepan. You know, and I think that's a great thing because every time that I go back to Peru, for instance, I eat so much, and actually you don't gain so much weight because the ingredients are good. You know, that's something that sometimes you miss out because there's so much technology in the food. You know,
Yeah.
and I understand that the world is too big and there's so many people. You need to feed them all, but it would be good to keep it, you know, as healthy as possible for everybody. You know.
I agree.
Um,
So I'm gonna sneak some of this in here.
yeah,
What is it called again? This dish?
lomo saltado.
Lomo saltado. It looks incredible. I cannot wait. Looks like there's a little bit of everything in here. We have a little bit of red onion. We have our nice French fries here. Looks like they're fresh made here in the restaurant, not like like bought at the store. They probably slice their own with natural potatoes and no processing. The steak looks very good, and then we have a little bit of rice and some au jus on there. I'm looking forward to it. Looks delicious. I almost feel bad taking so much because I'm getting all sorts of good steak and stuff right now. I mean, there's some left on the other side, but I'm taking some of the good stuff here.
Well, I think it's a good way to have some variety from your regular, you know, 8 ounces or 14 ounces or 20 ounces of steak, you know.
Although I do enjoy that one well too. I agree with you, yeah.
No, as a variety from time to time, you know. I'm
only
a
eating a
big
little bit
steak
now.
person too.
But when the cameras are off, I'm gonna eat a whole bunch more of that. Yeah, no, I'm a big steak fan of chicken too.
The flavor, like it?
Very good. There's like a little bit of some kind of sauce in the au jus that makes it taste like really good.
Well, I'm glad you like it. Well, you have a little bit of, you have some chicken, you have some seafood, you have some steak, so
Machu Picchu is where it's at.
yeah. We are at Irving Park and on Ashland, close to Irving Park, between Monrose and Irving Park. And the owner is very friendly, the staff is very friendly. They have lunch specials, so you cannot miss it. You cannot go wrong.
Lunch special was $7.99 for a lunch. They have 2 different specials today.
You know,
Great price, good food.
if you're in the north side, you know where to come.
I'm a south sider, but the north side is making me a believer with all this good food, man. So many good restaurants in Chicago. We're blessed.
Yeah, it truly is a great city. I have a Peruvian friend who qualified the cities according to the number of good Peruvian restaurants that they have. So
We got to be up there.
Chicago definitely qualified. We have like 10 Peruvian restaurants, and the community is not so. I mean, it's big, but it's not so big. We're like, I don't know, 15,000 people, so it's pretty good, well represented.
I think I found my new favorite meal. This is so delicious. It's not overfilling, and The flavor is just really good. I could take a box of that to go like for the next few nights to eat.
It's always great to have your attorney to do deals and to be able to have a good meal.
Like some bread too, man. Thank you for the kind words. And also, I only eat one meal a day usually. I'll snack a little bit, but I
Really?
do like the intermittent fasting. It's helped me to lose weight, things like that. But when I do eat, I usually be able to like go all out and like really enjoy it. So this is probably not the French fries with the steak and rice. If you're carb conscious, this might not be for you. But I just don't care because I'm only eating one meal a day and I can pretty much eat what I want because I burn right through it. I'm glad you suggested this restaurant. This is very good.
Yeah. I think it's again, you have the perspective of fanciness versus it's like I see it like the Italian restaurants, you know. There's so many Italian restaurants that I like in the northwest side of the city, where the food is definitely more la nonna, like more family, you know. And then you have some few fancy places downtown. So depending on what type of mood you are for, you know. Sometimes you just want to have a cocktail. Sometimes you want to eat. If it's your only one meal in the day, you want to make it count, you know.
Our last dish is, once again for the viewer,
Ají de gallina. Ají de gallina, it's made of hen. I mean, we use chicken on this one. And then it's like a heavy sauce where you basically dip the chicken. And yep, I'm just gonna get another dish.
I just mixed it all together.
Yeah.
I was thinking about pouring the juice back into the ceviche thing because I had the ceviche juice on there, but I didn't want to seem like I'm on camera. I didn't want to seem like just a savage pouring after I just ate all that and pouring the ceviche juice back into the
the
ceviche.
lemon. You wouldn't go. Yeah, you wouldn't go so wrong on that. I mean, there's no way to go wrong about the food.
No.
My dad used to say everything gets mixed in the stomach. So
That's true. It's funny because
yeah, dish.
my parents always told me to, you shouldn't mix certain things, don't go together. I mix all sorts of crazy things. I've eaten like a meal or something, I'll have a glass of milk later. It's like
Yeah.
you wouldn't think that like peppers and all this stuff goes, but it's like, it's all down there. It's never made me sick before.
Well, you know, I was thinking the best dishes, well, not the best dishes, but great dishes, like, say, thanks so much. Say like, for instance, a jalea, you know, a jalea is like a seafood rice, right? Or a jambalaya,
Jambalaya.
or like, let's say, chop suey, you know? Or like a good fried rice chicken. I don't know, I can go going on and on, but you got the point, right?
Yeah.
It's all about food leftovers, you know? And how the creativity of the people came out to put them together and create all this seasoning that make it so delicious that they become, you know, a new product in the whole category. You know what I'm saying? So I think one of the reasons that the Peruvian food is so rich is like we have a long history from the Incas, and then came the conquistadores, you know, the Spaniards, and they basically enslaved the Peruvians. And then the poor people, they needed to eat. And you didn't have the steak, you didn't have the good turkey, the good chicken, so you have leftovers.
Yeah.
And what do you do with leftovers? Like, kind of creativity, you know?
Yeah.
How come I'm gonna season this in order to make it to be good, you know? So I think there's a lot of, that's what I like.
Mean times or tough times made mean dishes then, because you were getting all these good seasonings together.
Yeah, that's the good thing, if you want to say it, of all the massive poverty that we had from the Spaniards, you know? And the mix of races too. That's the other thing. Like I grew up in Lima, and many of my friends were the Japanese descendant. It was so bad that I thought sushi, when I came to Chicago, I thought sushi was Peruvian, because I didn't know other places, you know?
Yeah.
Because it was so much into the culture, same like sashimi, which is like a type of ceviche, you know? But then you mix it up, bunch of Chinese guys, Japanese guys, Italian guys, Spaniards, and native Peruvians, and you have my city, you know?
Yeah.
Which is Lima. And then you got great food, you know? Because they ended up doing all these mixes. So,
What kind of sauce is that with the chicken?
they use Andean cheese. They use Peruvian, the pepper, the rocoto that I tell you. They use crackers, some milk, salt, pepper, garlic.
It's very thick, creamy sauce.
Yeah, because you have all the flour from the crackers.
Right.
That's why it's kind of thick. Sorry.
No worries.
So, yeah, but, I don't know. It tastes good, you know.
Very good. On that note, thank you very much to all the good folks at Machu Picchu for the lovely lunch we had today. A huge muchas gracias to my good man, Renee Costa from Full Bars Media, for filming this. Thanksgiving is coming up. Christmas is coming up. So we got some good holidays, a lot of good things to be thankful for and be with our families. I'm thankful for the meal we had here today. Thankful for my guest, Herman. Is there anything, contact information that you want to supply here at the end of the video? Where you're at on Facebook, YouTube, your phone number, email address, whatever you'd like to put out for the viewers.
My office is at Chicago and Damon in the Ukrainian village. The motto of our company is we're always ready to help. For straight shooters, you can reach us. Probably I'm going to give information to the video maker, so you can see I'm in Facebook, I'm in Instagram, LinkedIn. I have a YouTube channel, and I would love to connect with you to discuss how can we bring value to your life. I mean, how can we make you make money if you're trying to invest? How can you get the best purchase possible if you're a first-time home buyer? So yeah, I mean, we do commercial, we do residential, everything related to real estate. Thank you for the opportunity to Brian, his team, Breaking Bread. Thanks for the opportunity to share in some Peruvian culture.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Touches my heart to get to know Peru, you know. In Peru, we have a phrase that all the Peruvians were ambassadors, you know. We've been in a country with so many problems for so many years, and I see that things are getting better, you know, for Peru. And I really hope for the rest of the region, you know. Again, thanks for everything.
You're welcome, my good man. Pleasure to break some bread with you. I will be back filming the Breaking Breads again, either in late December or in the new year, January or February. So we have the holidays coming up. Very happy Thanksgiving and a Merry Christmas to you and your families. We're blessed, and we hope you stay blessed too. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode of Breaking Bread with Brian. Peace.